Hi, everyone.
Hey there, Jory. We have a super light agenda today. That is Brandon speak for, hey, if anybody wants to throw something on there, feel free.
Let me see. Let me go into the agenda. I can throw some filler. Brandon, do you have any idea who might have the OCI Twitter account?
Figure it's going to be
Chris?
Chris, or if Amy still has it from way back in the day. And
I'll ask Chris.
if Amy still has it, she may have thrown it into a erupting volcano to disappear and never be found again.
Well, I think that's what they should do with the whole of Twitter, but nobody's
That
really
that's why Amy would have done it.
right. Actually, I can just ask her signal real quick. Oh, today's the 20th. Amazing.
Indeed is. I'm glad I'm not the only person that's typoing everything. It's me
I
all day,
my
every day.
and then I'm not very caffeinated today. I'm like really dragging. And so I'm definitely not on my
Did my promotion on Mastodon. I have not boosted anything on LinkedIn, even for my own company back in the day. They didn't like me for that.
it just, it feels not genuine. Like I really don't, I don't know. Like
Every once in a while, when I would get nagged about it enough,
Amy.
I would go in there and hit the like button on it. Like, okay, I'll like your post.
Right.
Okay, we got a light crowd today. And Tianan's being quiet. Rom, how are you today?
Hanging in there.
This is going to be a quick one at this rate.
You're good company, Rob. Like we're all like, oh, I feel
This is
you.
going to be a quick one today, I think. All right. or 5 minutes after, if someone shows up, we can circle back, but we might have a light crew today as well. I throw on there to review the image spec badge one still. I think Tina is on the record of saying not going to reject it, but also not going to approve it as is. And so maybe you'll go back and revisit that one later on and say, let's change things to make Tina unhappy if we don't get another maintainer in there to put a thumbs up on it. Jory, you want to take over the container plumbing days?
Yeah, this is a pretty light update, but we do have that CFP open for Container Plumbing Days up through April 13th. That will be here before you know it. I've queued a couple of different social media posts to sort of, help remind folks. So if you won't mind, like if you use LinkedIn, question mark, reboosting those for us. I'm gonna try and also locate the credentials for our Twitter account and do some posting there as well. So promoting the CFP, particularly among people who are like geographically close to Amsterdam, we know that probably there won't be as much, for reasons, as much travel across the pond. There's that.
Unless we're all trying to
And
escape.
yeah, working on setting up a safe house in Portugal right now. Anyway.
Sorry, I didn't
Um,
mean to derail you.
so that's it. That's the main thing. And then of course, if folks are interested in helping to, we definitely will need your help with like the review process for the talk submission. That's 100% very much welcome, even if you don't know that you'll come. Helping to rate good talks because we'll have those hopefully like recorded and reusable. So that's it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm thinking we can also hit the OCI mailing list. Doesn't get much traffic, but that would be a way to get people that might be more OCI adjacent.
We did. I emailed. Did I email Dev?
Did you throw it
I
on Dev?
emailed.
Okay.
I may have emailed Dev. There was one group that I was like, oh, should I spam this or not? But I did the TOB. I did the trademark board.
Okay.
Um, so I may, and I'll double check, but I'll spam Dev too, if not.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw it on our little programming committee.
List. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I see a Dev post.
In
Maybe
Dev.
earlier you had posted something on there, or maybe it's sitting in the queue.
It may be sitting in the queue. It may also not have, I may have paused before spamming Dev.
Yeah.
I mean, just,
I mean, as much stuff as Dev gets, you can't really spam it much.
that's a
As
good,
long
fair
as,
point. Okay, I'll write something nice for the Dev
yeah.
that's like,
Just hey, OCI people, Container Plumbing Days is coming up. CFP is open.
yeah, I think I'll make it like real jazzy.
Okay. You're better than me. Go for it.
Well,
Yeah, that and Slack are kind of the two big places I'm thinking of, which I think we've already had it in Slack a couple of times, but
yeah,
that would be
we'll
the other
do a
big thing.
couple more.
All right. Other than that, I've just got a couple of GitHub issues sitting out there. I don't know how much progress we'll make on these today, but just kind of wanted to start the process of making them visible because each of them is also bumping the Go version. And so because of that, I can actually do a screen share on this. Let me share desktop, share display. Since Zoom is playing nicer these days, I can do this. Yeah, so we've got a request on image spec to update a couple dependencies. This one will probably need some time to review. I haven't looked over it and I haven't seen anybody else look over it yet, but it's bumping our minimum version in the image spec from 118 to 121. We're still within our 3 versions because we're up to 124 now, so we're not too bad. But a couple of these things in there for JSON schema, and I think the reason it's going to take a little while for us to review is we don't have a lot of people really looking at the JSON schema as best I know. Tianan, is that accurate?
Yeah, that's absolutely accurate.
Yeah. So somebody's using it, which is an amazing thing.
You have code that imports Black Friday in here, generating Markdown or parsing Markdown? Why?
I know that we do some stuff in there to read the markdown file in all the rest of the spec and make sure that it validates against whatever's in the schema. So if you go to look at,
Yeah, I see. Schema spec test.go.
yeah, if you go to look at any one of our things out there, like say the manifest, anywhere in here that we put in, hey, here's an example manifest, this gets parsed. And so if you look down in the raw file, there's a title in there, but there's also a media type. And when the parser sees that media type, it actually parses it against the media type to implement that thing to make sure this is valid.
Yeah. Do we really need a full Markdown parser for that?
I didn't write it. I hate to touch it. If you want to touch it, you can go for it.
uh,
But yeah, I found out the hard way editing some specs a while back when things were breaking left and right. And I'm like, what on earth is happening here? And then I realized, oh, that's how all this stuff works.
I mean, you know how I feel about bumping the Go version without a really good reason.
Yeah. It's not the worst of reasons. I think what I've seen lately, um, let's see, in there, but also looking
Golang
at some
X has
other,
started automatically bumping their minimum
that's
Go versions.
that's what I was about
Just,
to say is we've
just
hit that, and I think that's what broke over here. Because we import XNet and XSys and XTEST and everything. That broke some of my own stuff because they're going all the way up to what, 123?
yeah, it's ridiculous. On
Yeah,
the off chance that they might use newer Go features in the future, maybe. Like
yeah,
that's what?
yeah. I was having a rant about that with the local Go meetup yesterday. My opinion was kind of heard, but basically the Go developers are saying, hey, we're doing it our way and that's it. So yeah, that's I agree with you. It's always concerning for what we do in there, but also we don't want security vulnerabilities. And if people are actually using this stuff, it would be nice to support them to actually use it. I don't know if there's a way we can maybe separate this out to make the JSON schema and all that stuff separate from the actual spec versions. That might simplify things if someone's just importing in a bunch of the spec files. They don't need a new Go version. It's only people who are doing the JSON schema stuff. But yeah, I'm surprised someone's using this. In a way, it's kind of nice. This may be a breaking change. I don't know if we're allowed to do that. So yeah, this is going to take some review time. That's one. The other one, this one looks worse, but may not be as bad just because it's over in distribution spec. It is breaking CI right now, but that's just because they bumped the XNet stuff and all the X packages in there without bumping the Go version. And so none of this builds anymore. Dependabot did not know about that. But it's just in conformance. And so I am less paranoid about bumping stuff in just conformance. Tina, I know you're not a maintainer over there, but are you less paranoid about that as well?
Yeah, conformance is a binary, not a library.
Yeah.
So we get to choose which Go version we support and build it against, and that's the buck stops at the binaries. It's when a library
And
starts enforcing minimum versions that aren't actually their real minimum versions that I get cranky.
yeah, I would say in a way, just because of the way conformance is written, it should be a binary, but it's also like written as test code, and that
Yeah,
other
but
thing
it's
needs to get
not
a little
like
rewrite.
something that someone puts in an import declaration in their own Go code such that its dependencies matter for anyone.
Exactly.
Unlike the image spec, where we do have Go code that gets imported by a lot of different things
Yeah.
that shouldn't necessarily have our constraints on their code. So honestly, I think the fix for my complaints against this image spec PR is probably to add a second go.mod specifically for the schema stuff so that it is separated just like the conformance tests are,
Yeah.
because a lot less people are importing the schema validation code than the structs that we define. And those structs have like no minimum Go version. They'll work all the way back to Go 1.0, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this code does have minimum versions and has to because it has like load bearing code in it and other dependencies like markdown parsing.
Isn't it a beautiful thing? They're strangling the microphone, I can tell. I would agree to that. It's going to take some testing though. Someone to make the change and make sure it doesn't completely break everything.
And the minute we add a go.mod in that subdirectory, anyone importing this path is now going to get weird behavior when they try to update.
That's what I want to test.
Yeah.
I know in the past when I've used like VS Code, modifying the conformance stuff, which has that path in the conformance directory, not in the top level directory, I would have to open VS Code in a subdirectory because Go Please would not be happy. I think that has been fixed, which kind of helps with people that have monorepo sorts of layouts. So it might not be a problem if we did that in the image spec, but I'm not sure. I just really want to test that and make sure that we're not breaking things.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely going to cause some short-term pain downstream for consumers of slash schema, but it will be really easy for them to resolve because they just need to add an explicit dependency in go.mod on slash schema instead of just image spec. So it should be fine.
Does that just change the go sum file more than anything else? And they would just go mod tidy and it would solve it? Because
There will be a second import because the minute you add a go.mod, slash schema becomes a separate module.
okay, so the go mod file will be updated. That might be solved with the go mod tidy as well, but the
Yeah,
actual code wouldn't change because all of these at the top would already be all the way down to the path.
correct. Yeah, because we're not doing a v2 of slash schema yet, so there's no slash v2 in all those import paths.
Other than Black Friday.
Well, yeah, Black Friday doing that is, yeah. Thanks, Go. Thanks, Obama.
I was ranting about that yesterday, and yeah. My rant yesterday was laughing about go get, I think it was. I think it's just go get. I don't remember where it is.
Are there like a v5 or something?
Uh, more, higher. That is not the one I was thinking of. Because that's a different GoGet package. There is one, okay, maybe it's over here. Do they have version numbers in here? I don't see it. Anyway, it's like version 55, or no, the one I saw was importing 55. They're up to version 70. They just iterate a new major version every time they do a release. They don't bother checking anything. Which I find hilarious. I'm sure the Go developers and whoever's maintaining that repo are just like battling it out with each other. All right, that pretty much generated the discussion I thought it was going to generate. We can go back and forth on this and see if the person submitting it, since they are a user of it, would be interested in that kind of tweak in there. See what happens there. Oh, and since this is spec.test, that is not a breaking change. We're good there. Huzzah. All right, that was all I had, folks. Anybody else have topics you'd like to talk about today? Brian, Saeed, I know you jumped in a little late. We did mention earlier, Container Plumbing Days has an open CFP. Jory would be ecstatic if you all went out there and promoted on all your socials and got some attention for it, especially if you've got European-friendly folks that would be interested in attending. Thank you, thank you. Anything else to discuss today? Going once? Going twice? Otherwise, this is a nice short meeting, and you all get to go off and enjoy an early weekend. Oh, I see chat messages. Did I miss anything important in there? Nope, we're all agreeing with the preaching. Okay, good.
With Father
Okay,
Tianon, yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.
thanks all. Have a great rest of your week.
You too.
I'm gonna tell my manager that Brandon said I can take the weekend. We're done, right? That's what you said. Early
I
weekend.
mean, the weekend's going to start for somebody eventually. Take care.